Good good afternoon or good morning or wherever you are. It is September the 22nd. This is Learning Chromebooks. We have, how many have we got? About 32 in the audience today. A bunch more joining us as we get the show going. So it is another year's gone by. It's the fall. It's life is moving ahead with Chromebooks, and hopefully you're all enjoying your Chromebook. Huey and I, of course, are here for the session today. Huey, do you have anything you want to say?
Hello, everybody. I'm glad you're here. We get a lot of questions along the way about Chromebooks. We hope we answer them, and we cover a lot of material at these meetings, and I hope you get a lot out of it.
Excellent, thanks. So we have today, as part of the show, we're going to, I have a video, then we're going to have some questions and answers, a little bit of a question and answer period. And then Huey's got a video for you. And again, we'll have a bit of a Q&A after Huey's video. And then we will, and then we also have some news articles to go over with you, new features about Chromebooks that are coming. So I think we'll start, Huey. Is that okay? We'll start with my video first and we'll get going.
Let you.
Okay. All right. Let's see what I have to say about Chrome OS 105. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Chrome OS 105. If you're watching this as part of our Learning Chromebook series, you'll know that each month I talk about the new features in the latest operating system, as each month the operating system updates to a different number. If you're watching this as YouTube replay, welcome and please enjoy the video. This Chromebook series is produced as part of our educational services at Tech for Senior. Please feel free to use this as you wish. The only thing that we'd ask from you is, the like and subscribe. It really helps us continue to make videos such as this. This is September 2022, and this month's version of the Chrome operating system is version 105. Each month we have a new version, and I report on the new features. Now, many times within the operating system, there's the new features, but there's also a lot of things behind the scenes, under the hood, you might say, security fixes, operating system fixes, and things like that. This month, there are no really new features I can show you. All the work is done under the hood, so I wondered, what are we going to talk about? So I've chosen 4 features from prior versions that I would like to review with you today. These are very important features, and I think it merits going over again and just reviewing them. The first feature I would like to talk about is speech recognition. I first discussed this in Chrome OS 100. Now, if you're not using speech recognition on your Chromebook, you should be. It is fast, it is efficient, and will save you a lot of time. Let's go over how it works from my segment on Chrome OS 100. So in another life, many, many years ago, long before I retired, I actually taught physicians how to use speech recognition or voice dictation. I taught Dragon Naturally Speaking. I went to Dragon School and learned from the best, and that was my job in our software company, was to teach physicians how to use voice dictation or speech recognition. In fact, I used it in my clinical practice as a physician for many, many years before retiring. So it was an absolute shock to me when I was able to do this on my Chromebook without any training. I didn't have to do a single thing and it worked perfectly. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, life changes. So let me show you how easy this is to do on your Chromebook. Okay, now you can see my cursor here. Let's move our cursor down onto the shelf on the right side. We're going to click here and we're going to come up to Settings. And we're going to come over to the left-hand side here, and you see we're going to come to advanced, all right? See where it says advanced, and there's a little down, a caret that goes down. Click this, and we want to come down to accessibility. Here's our accessibility. So we're going to come to accessibility. We click this, and now we're going to come up here, and I'm going to come to the Manage Accessibility Features. So we're going to click here. And now there's a lot of features that we can turn on. The first thing you'll see is text to speech, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do it the other way around. We're going to speak and turn it into text. This is another topic for another day. Display, we're not going to talk about that today. Keyboard and text input is what we want to talk about. And we're going to come down here, and it's the third one down, enable dictation, speak to type, okay? This is what you want to turn on. Now, what I want you to do is watch at the bottom of my screen. See where my cursor is down here on the tray? You see there's no microphone showing down here, but watch what happens when I turn on this feature. We're going to come over here and we're going to turn on this feature. And now if you come down and you look, you'll see that we have a microphone down on our tray, on our shelf. And this is what we'll turn on for dictation. We can either turn this on by clicking this, and we'll do this in a minute, or we actually can use the everything key or the search key, whatever you want to call it. The new terminology is called the everything key. You can use this plus D, of course D for dictation. So that's how you will turn it on, is you'll hit the everything key plus D, or click the dictation button, and we'll turn this on. So let's see how easy this is to do. Now remember, we've done no training, voice training or anything. This is just right off the shelf. Let's see how it works. Okay, so what I've done now is I have brought up a untitled document in my Google Docs, and I'm going to take a note to Bob. I'm going to invite Bob for dinner. So I'm going to turn on the voice dictation, and let's see how this works. Bob, comma. New paragraph. Can you come for dinner Sunday? Question mark. We are having your favorite dinner, roast beef, period. Can you bring an expensive bottle of red wine? Question mark. New paragraph. Why don't you come around 4:30? New paragraph. Don't forget to bring Alice. Period. All right. And as you see, if you pause, the dictation automatically stops, which so you don't continue on. Now let's see how it works. It says, Bob, can you come for dinner Sunday? We are having your favorite dinner, roast beef. Can you bring an expensive bottle of wine? Question mark. Why don't you come around 4:30? And again, don't forget to bring Alice. It got it all right. Okay. Now, what I want to do is to read a more technical, longer technical article for you, and just let's see how this works. This is an article about managing files on a Chromebook. So let's see how this works out. New paragraph here, and let's see, I'm going to read this through, and as we go along, I want you to watch and see how accurate this is. Suffice to say, comma, we've come a long way, period. These days, comma, Chromebooks are sophisticated productivity devices with ample options for advanced file management, period. But lots of the best file-related possibilities are still lurking beneath the surface and all too easy to miss, period. Okay, let's see. Suffice to say, we've come a long way. These days, Chromebooks are sophisticated productivity tools, ample, but lots of the best file-related possibilities are still lurking beneath the surface. Again, it got it all right. Easy to miss. So it got it all right. And you saw how fast that I actually dictated. So This is pretty cool since there's been no training. It's getting it really, it's doing really well. Anyway, let's have a look at using this in an email. You certainly can use this wherever you're going to input text on your Chromebook. So let's go to Gmail. I'm going to open a Gmail up and let's do an email and see how that works. Okay, now we have Gmail open. You'll see the cursor is here. Let's see how this is going to work. I'm going to again start the voice dictation. Let's see how we go. Bob, comma, new paragraph. This is an update on our dinner for Sunday period. I have asked Hewie to come, so we may need 2 bottles of wine period. Please ensure these are expensive bottles, and we will see you on Sunday evening around 4:30 period. All right, let's see how this looks. This is an update on your dinner Sunday. I've asked Hewie. Now, of course, the first thing you'll see that, of course, it's spelled Hewie, not correct. Yeah, Hewie is Hewie. So we may need 2 bottles of wine. Please ensure these are expensive bottles, and we will see you on Sunday evening around 4:30. So, you know, it got it pretty good except for Hewie. So when you say help in voice dictation, this will bring up the set of voice commands. Now you can access this through the above. I'll show you this in a minute. But these are the commands that you can change and edit. So you can select all, unselect, copy, paste, undo, redo, new line. These are all the commands that you can say while you're doing your voice dictation, and these are the description of what will happen. So that was using voice dictation on your Chromebook. Amazing. No training. It got it almost 100% right out of the box. Truly amazing. Give it a try. It's lots of fun. It'll save you a lot of work as well if you're not a good typer. Chrome OS 101 brought us the ability to see the firmware updates in peripheral devices connected to our Chromebook. This was a new feature as part of their diagnostics section. Let's have a look and see how this works. All right, let's have a look at the changes that have occurred in Chrome OS 101. We're going to come up to Settings. Let's click the Settings button. And we're going to come to About Chrome OS. Click that. And now let's come down the list here and you'll see Firmware Updates. This is the change that has occurred. Let's click this and see what happens. It tells us firmware updates for external drives. All firmware updates are up to date. I don't have anything plugged in as an external device, but if you did, it would check and make sure that the software is up to date. Well, that's it for Chrome OS 101. When we want to send large files, we often zip them into a zipped file. But in Windows, unzipping a file can be a confusing and frustrating task. Chrome OS 102 made it a lot easier. Let's have a look and see how this works. Okay, here we are on my Chromebook. We're going to go to Google Photos in the cloud and download some pictures directly onto my Chromebook. So let's come up and go to Google Photos. This will be the cloud-based version. So these pictures are in the cloud. So we're going to come over to the great dinner I cooked for Father's Day. These are my pictures of the Father's Day dinner I just did. So let's select these pictures. You'll see there's 6 pictures. So let's select them, and we'll do this by just clicking each picture, and we'll select them all. Now remember, these pictures in the cloud, they're not on my Chromebook. I want them on my Chromebook. So what we're going to do, and now we've chosen all these pictures, these are big files, so they're going to be zipped into a zip file. We're going to come up now into the 3-dot menu on the top right. We're going to click this, and we're going to say download. And I want you to watch to the bottom left as you see the file being zipped. And these are now being zipped and downloading onto our Chromebook. Here they are. They're now in our in the downloads directory. It is a file called photos.001zip. But I'm going to change the name of this, and we're going to call this Father's Day .zip. Okay, so now we've changed the name. We're going to call it Father's Day.zip, and I'm going to come over here and we're going to save this. Now, of course, on the right hand side, you'll see that the download is completed. We're calling this Father's Day zip, but these are zipped. This is a zip file. We'll say show in folder. This is going to bring up the files menu, and you'll see here we have a folder called Father's Day.zip. Now, these are zipped files. Of course, you have to unzip them and save them. Watch how easy this is. Right click, extract all. You'll see now there's a new feature called extract all right here. So we're going to click this, and we're going to extract all these from the zip file, and all you have to do is click that, and let's see what happens now. Let's come up to the Father's Day folder. As we move up to the top here, you'll see it says Father's Day. This is a folder. The folder's in downloads, and we can certainly move that to whatever folder we want. But when we click this, here are my 6 pictures. They're completely extracted. They are now individual pictures, and these are on my Chromebooks. That is how easy it is to unzip a file now on your Chromebook in Chrome OS 102. Chrome OS 103 brought us the new screencasting app. This was a huge improvement as it allows creators to actually use their Chrome operating system to do screencasting on their Chromebook and can use the content for production of YouTube videos or whatever service they are using. Let's look at the new screencast feature in Chrome OS 103. Now, the first thing you need to know is that this is an app that is now on your Chromebook. So let's come down to the launcher. We're going to come down here to the left-hand side, and we're going to click this button. And now you're going to see the screencast icon come up. This is the actual app that is on your Chromebook now. So as we come down, we'll see that this is actually the screencast app that is on your Chromebook. So I would open that up, find it, open it up, and then I would bookmark it to the shelf because you're probably going to be using it. This is very handy if you're doing any videos, you're doing any instructional videos, any educational work. You'll really want to use this app. All right, when you click the app, let's see what happens. This is going to bring you up into screencast, and when you start this, there'll be a intro menu here, and you can see it again. If you come up to the 3-dot menu here, you'll see there's a feature tour, there's getting started. So, and then of course, these are some of the screencasts I've been doing. And this is up here to the left is the new screencast option. So let's have a look and see what we can do. We're going to click the Getting Started button. And as we click the Getting Started button, we'll now see that there's a welcome screen. There's the transcript tools in which all the information that you're going to be dictating is going to be transcribed. You then can mark up your screencast, and you can also share the screencast with other people. So let's come up to the 3-dot menu again, and we're going to click the 3-dot menu, and what we're going to click is the feature tour. And now it brings up this menu, and it's going to record your screen and yourself. So we're going to personalize this. So let's see what's going to happen. We'll click next. We can get a transcript automatically. We can draw on the screen. We can collaborate and share with other people. So let's start a new screencast. So we're going to come up to the left-hand side here, and we're going to click Start a New Screencast. And here we have me. Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm looking at another screen because I'm recording this screen. So anyway, this is how it would look. Now, it says click anywhere to record a full screen. So anywhere along here we can click. So we're going to click this. And you get a countdown timer now. And here we are, we're recording. But we're recording, of course, we're recording me. In the bottom here, you'll be able to see me. Let's see. Hey, we can even move this around. That's pretty cool. We can even, if you want to sort of be seen up here, or you want to be seen over here, you can see my green screen in the background and some overhead lights. Pretty cool. So you can put yourself wherever you want. Okay, let's come back to the document that we had created earlier. Here is the what we were discussing. Google Chrome OS 103 has an awesome screencast feature. So we're going to come back now and we're going to stop the screen recording. And you'll see that it's uploading this now to the cloud, and then it's going to process it. Here it is, uploading the files. And then it's going to process it, and we're going to be able to have a look at our screencast. You'll see that it's recording and processing here. Now remember, the cool part about this is that after we create this, it will create a transcript automatically of what we have created. You can mark it up, edit it, and put notes on the screen. And also you can share your screencast with other people. All this available on your Chromebook, Chrome OS 103. This is the Screencast app. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Those are the 4 features I wanted to go over this month. Next month in October, Hewie and I will be doing Learning Chromebook on October the 27th. We'll have Chrome OS 106, and we'll see what new features come out. Please remember to like and subscribe. Enjoy your Chromebook, and we'll see you in a month's time. Do we have any questions about anything we're talking about? Go ahead, Carl.
I was going to ask, what's the latest OS? Is it 106?
105. I just checked, at least 105 on my machine. I checked it this morning, and I'm still. Jolin, are you still at 105? I don't think 106 is out yet.
It usually comes out in the Chrome browser first, and the Chrome browser hasn't updated to 106 yet.
Now, some of these features you're doing, this screen casting, are those features available under Windows too?
Well, this is specific to Chromebooks. You can do screencasting on Windows, but that's a different topic, different subject, and there are lots of ways you can go about that. But this is inherent that it's built into your Chromebook now, so you actually can do your own screencasting without any extra software. The software is built in.
It wasn't a purpose of wanting to do it in Windows. I was just curious, the comparability of the 2 products. Thank you.
Okay, Jim, go ahead.
I have a question on naming protocol. I noticed, and that you probably covered this before, but on the Chrome stuff, when you upload photos or download the stuff, and like you had that marked as screencast, numbers following it, can you change the name to something that makes sense?
Oh, sure.
Like,
yes.
How do you do that?
Yeah, those were the default names that were put on there. But you saw that I changed the one. It was Father Day dinner or whatever that was. I changed the name of it, before I saved it, and that's because it's just they give you a default. They just give you a default number, but you can change the name before you save it.
So what you're saying is when you take the picture, before you upload it, I guess that's saving it. You can change it before you put it up on the cloud,
That's
right?
correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So whatever numbering you want to do, then that's fine.
Okay. Well, a little follow up on that. When you put it on the cloud, like with Google Docs or what have you, do you have to create an account for each separate item that you upload? Like you say you had your screencast series. When you upload it, does it put it into a folder automatically, or do you have to create an album to put it into?
The screencast, it'll put it into a folder automatically, and then you can have subfolders. It's in your Google Docs directory, so you can create as many folders as you want. You may have screencasting. You may be doing a project, and you could make a folder for that project, and you could say, I want it to go in that project.
Okay, thank you.
Maurice, go ahead.
I had submitted this question to Hewie, so I don't know if it's appropriate, but I had watched your Zoom presentation, and I've got Chrome Flex, so not Chromebooks, and none of the Zoom will work on any. I tried the PWA, and a crash picture. Do you have any thoughts if Chrome Flex is significantly different than Chromebooks with Zoom?
I haven't checked it out. That's why I didn't respond to you. I just got your question just before the show. And so I haven't gone into my Flex machine to try it, but I've had it. I've had Zoom working on my Flex machine because I've had it on last month. I had it on the show, signed in, so I know it works. So you need to make sure you don't use any other Zoom other than the PWA. So
Yeah, no worries. As I submitted to you, all of the machines seem to be in these loops where it says, this Zoom is no longer supported. Use the PWA.
Then you're not using the PWA one. Make sure you delete that or uninstall it first before you try to put the PWA in. The PWA.
I've done power washes on these machines and no luck there. All right, I'll wait to hear back. And then as a side, as I mentioned to you in the email for Ron, if you guys are interested, on your Tech for Seniors show a couple of weeks back, people were asking about iPhone tutorials, and I'm happy to volunteer to submit some to you guys if you want to look at them and then decide if you want to use them.
Maurice, that's great. We were talking about that earlier. Hewie, our prayers have been answered.
Well, we're still looking for a Mac person too.
Well, I'm not a Mac guru, but on the iPhone thing, I can send you just an example I put together of a screen capture, and then you guys could use them as different segments. One day could be passwords, one day could be recovery, one day could be legacy and what happens when you pass away, and then whatever. So if
yeah, we'll talk about that at another time. Let's get back.
Thanks, Maurice. That's great.
But thank you.
We'll be in touch.
That's great.
We'll be in touch. Bill, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Karen had a question on if she has more than one Gmail account while she's on her Chromebook, can she log into the other one without having it stay on the Chromebook?
So run that by me again.
Okay, she has multiple accounts for different reasons. And when she logs into her Chromebook as herself, can she look at her other accounts without them staying on the Chromebook?
Yes,
Okay, Jolyn, go ahead.
I have 5 accounts and I log into my Chromebook with my primary G account, and I open the browser, and I have already added. You go up to your little account icon or avatar, click on that, and it says add account. You just add an account and it adds it within the browser. You don't have to sign in a separate account on the Chromebook. So I access everything through the browser rather than having to log off and log in as a different account.
Okay, she does that on her phone now,
Right.
but that account stays there.
Yeah. Well, it won't stay there. It will be available if she wants it the next time. Yes.
Okay, but she doesn't want it
Then
to
she
stay
can.
there.
Then she logs out of it. When you
She can
finish
log
with it,
out?
yeah, you click out. You go up to the avatar, the account avatar. You click on that, and you can sign out of whatever account you're in at the moment.
Okay.
And you
And
can
Ron, on the screencasting, will that work for Instagram to record it and then delete it before you upload it?
Do you want to dictate into Instagram, or what specifically, or do you want to put the file up into Instagram?
Karen likes to do Instagram, but as soon as she views it, a lot of them go away. Can she record that and then show me whatever she wanted
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
and
you
then
can do a
delete that.
screencast. Yeah, just cast it. Sure.
You
It's
mean
just a recorder.
to record the screen while she's
Yeah.
playing whatever Instagram
Yeah.
she's watching?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Super.
That worked great. It's a screen.
Huey,
It's
you
a
were gonna-
screen recorder, right? That's what it is.
But Huey was going to say something else about the accounts.
Yeah, I use an email program, and I can't remember, it's type something. And I don't have my Chromebook open right now, but I can get all of my email mail from all of my Gmail accounts, from my other accounts, and I have it all in one program, and I can view all of the emails at one time. Yeah, you can connect to other accounts very easily and do different things, and depending upon the ability of the program you're using. Or the
But
app.
if it's important that she doesn't keep that account open and viewable, then all she has to do is log out when she's finished reading that account.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Huey. Do you want to go with your segment now?
Yeah, Ron and I were talking about, we've got a lot of you who are regulars, and some of the beginning stuff you might not want to see, and so on. And I said, well, one of the things that a lot of us do is recommend Chromebooks to other people. And they say, well, which one should I get, or what should I do? And so I thought I'd put together, what are you looking for if you're going to buy a new Chromebook? If you're not a Chromebook user, what are some of the things you need to look for? And then if you're recommending to somebody, what should you do and how to do it? So I put this together. So let's go ahead and choosing a Chromebook for those looking for a new Chromebook or helping someone else. I'm Hewie Poplock. What do you do on a computer? Email, Facebook, games, look up information or Google it, banking and pay bills, make purchases on Amazon and other websites, Zoom, YouTube, any of the Microsoft Office products or any Office product, and anything else that you do. Pros of owning a Chromebook is they boot quickly. They're effectively impervious to viruses. Some people can cause their own issues. Generally speaking, they're inexpensive, usually anywhere from $200 to $500, depending upon the size and features, but they can be up to $1,500 and more. Voice commands, you can say OK G from the launcher to invoke Google's voice-powered assistant. There's tight integration with everything Google, Gmail, Drive, Calendar, and so on. That means any document created in, say, Google Docs is automatically archived to Drive. It's like a full-time automatic backup for nearly everything the user does. There's great battery life, simple keyboards, and it comes with all the essential software. And they're easy to carry if you want to use it as a notebook and carry it around. There are a few cons. One, there's a bit of a learning curve, especially if someone has already been used to Windows or a Mac. Printing can be a challenge, and it does rely on the internet, although you can work offline, and when you connect to the internet, it then updates and does what it needs to do. So what to look for in a Chromebook? The following are many important considerations when purchasing a Chromebook. They are in no particular order, and I have highlighted some that I consider to be of higher priority for most of you, but that will vary from person to person. The brand, Asus, Acer, HP, Dell, and a slew of others. The screen size, generally between 10 and 17 inches. The resolution, 1366 by 768 or 1920 by 1080. Some of the larger ones are coming with a greater resolution. The CPU model and speed may not be important to you, depending upon what you're doing. And then, of course, how many cores are in that CPU or central processing unit. How much memory and storage? Memory is the brains, storage are the filing cabinets. Generally, Chromebooks come with 4 gigabytes of memory although you can get 8 or 16. 8 is better, of course, than 4, but 4 should be enough for most people. The storage can be as little as 16 gigabytes, but that would include what you're storing as far as the operating system. So 16 gigabytes really is not enough, although you can buy them like that. 32 is still a little bit small. I would recommend 64 gigabytes, but a lot of them now are coming with 128, and some of them even have SD card slots, which you can put in 128 or 256 gigabyte SD cards as well. Battery life is excellent in most Chromebooks. Can be 8 hours, can be 10 hours, in some cases even more. You want to look at the battery life. How much does it weigh? If you're going to be carrying it a lot, moving it more than just from the living room to the bedroom, then weight might be an issue. Whether it has an HDMI port, are you going to connect it to a projector or to your TV screen? You might want to look for an HDMI port on it. Which USB ports are included with that model that you're looking at? Most of the new ones only have a USB-C, and sometimes they'll have 2 of them. And you can get a USB hub or a USB extension with various connectors on it. So if that's all it has, that's not a real big issue. What's the price? What's your budget? If you're looking at the $200 range, you're not going to get a lot, but sometimes they're on sale. If you're looking at a $700 unit that's on sale, a lot of times will be on sale for $500 or less. Do you want it to have a fan or fanless? In most cases, it doesn't matter, but the fan may be a little bit noisier. Does it support Android? Almost all of the later Chromebooks support Android. The difference would be if you buy a real old one, a used one, might not, and you want to double check that because it may also be beyond the date of updating or pretty close to it. Also, if you have a Mac or a PC and you turned it into a Chromebook by adding the Chrome OS Flex, it will not support Android. Touchscreen. You'll notice that this one is one that I think is a high priority. Some people don't want a touchscreen. I think it's important, and I do recommend it. To those who have never used a touchscreen, when they get one, they will be glad they did. A camera and a mic. Most of the Chromebooks do include a camera and a mic, but you might want to double check and you might want to look at the quality of it. A lighted keyboard. This is not highlighted, but it's one that's very important to me. I like a lighted keyboard. You may not care. LTE, does it have the cell capabilities? Which means you have to pay for connectivity, but you have 24/7 connectivity wherever you are. As long as there's a cell tower nearby, you would have connectivity. So if you're in a car, you're in a restaurant, you're in somebody's home, you can use your own connection and you don't have to worry about either someone eavesdropping like in an airport or in a restaurant, but you have your own connection through just as if you were using a hotspot. Do you want it to be 360 degrees? That means will it fold all the way back and make into a tablet? And you want to really look at the AUE, or automatic update expiration date. This is very important, and a lot of the ads and a lot of the packaging do not tell you what the AUE is, and it's based on the release date of that model, not when you purchase it. Auto update expiration. Chrome devices like Chromebook, Chromebox, Chromebase, Chromebit receive automatic updates that enhance both the device and its software. Device updates provide the latest features and keep the device secure and are applied across the operating system, browser, and hardware. These updates depend on many device-specific non-Google hardware and software providers that work with Google to provide the highest level of security and stability support. For this reason, older Chrome devices cannot receive updates indefinitely to enable new OS and browser features. If you go to the link that's there, what you will find is the Google-approved Chrome OS devices and when the auto update expiration date occurs. What you have to be careful of when you choose which model you have, make sure that it corresponds to the one you're looking at or the one you're going to buy, the same model over several years, and the date will differ. Also, if you're buying something on sale really cheap, it could be very close to expiration date. So you want to be mindful of that. Recently, in September of 2022, PC Mag did a comparison of 10 different models of Chromebooks. And we're going to examine that. But this is what the page looks like on the website. There is the link for it. I created an Excel spreadsheet, which we're going to take a look at a little more closely from this photo of it. Let's look at the spreadsheet. I can't go out and purchase all of these Chromebooks, so we're going to have to rely on PC Mag and their tests and ratings, and they may or may not be totally accurate, but we're going to go by them anyway. So we have set up the spreadsheet so that when we move everything, the names of the models will stay at the top. We have 4 Lenovos, 3 Acers, a Dell, an Asus, and an HP. So we've got 10 Chromebooks, all different types. PC Mag does pick the Acer Chromebook Spin 713, the 2022 edition, as their #1 choice. Let's take a look at their topics. First is the laptop class. A convertible means that it will open and close, and usually the convertibles mean that they are a 360-degree Chromebook. Some are detachable, which means the keyboard comes off and the Chromebook becomes a tablet. Others are just a plain Chromebook. We have 2 AMD Ryzen 5s. We've got a couple of MediaTeks. We have an Intel Core i5, i3, and an Intel Celeron, and a Qualcomm Snapdragon. There's 2 of those. The processor speeds range starting at 1.1 gigahertz all the way up to 3 gigahertz. The RAMs tested, most of them have 8 gigabytes in this test group, and the rest have 4 gigabytes. The drives are either eMMC flash or SSD. The drives are either 128 gigabyte, there's one 256, there is a 16 gigabyte, which I do not recommend. There are three at 64 gigabytes, and then the rest are 128 or 256. The screen sizes range from a little over 10 inches to just over 17 inches. The native resolution, I like 1920 by 1080. Acer is even higher resolution than that, but then we also have a couple that are 1366 by 768. Those are usually the smaller screen sizes. All of these, but 2 are touch screens. The graphic processors usually are chips on the motherboard, but those particular chips may vary, as you can see. Now, the wireless networking, you're going to see Bluetooth, I believe, in almost all of them. One isn't mentioned, but I gather that it probably does have Bluetooth. But you will see that some is the 802.11, that's the Wi-Fi. Some are A, some are AC, some are AX. Few of them are Wi-Fi 6 compatible. It does give you the dimensions of the various ones, and then the weight might be important for you, anywhere from just over 2 pounds to just over 5 pounds. The battery life varies quite a bit. 6 hours and 23 minutes is not very much for a Chromebook, but we've also got one that tested out at 21 hours and 10 minutes. For the most part, they're between 8 and 12 hours. And I added to the bottom of their chart the AUEs as best as I could figure out, because some of the models weren't complete when you looked at the list. So you've got to be careful in this particular model, whether you have one that will hit the expiration date of June of 24, or will it be June of 29? That's a big difference. But you'll see most of them are at least 2027, and most of them are 2029, which means they are recent models. So that's our comparisons. Good luck in purchasing your Chromebook or helping your neighbor or friend with their purchase of a Chromebook. I'm Hewie Poplock. And I'm going to put in the share right now the couple of links that were in that. So you'll have them. And I just...
Hewie, while you're doing that, can I just wanted to mention something. Can I show something? Would you mind if I do that now?
Oh, please do.
Okay. I wanted to, okay, so I wanted to talk about, Huey didn't mention about a Chrome box, and I wanted to just refresh everybody's memory on a Chrome box and what it is. The nice thing about a Chrome box is that it is, if you have a screen, which a lot of you have, maybe you have a computer, old Windows computer, and it's gone and you want to get a Chromebook. Well, if you have a good screen, you have a keyboard, you have a mouse, a Chrome box is an excellent idea. This little device will fit in the palm of your in the palm of your hand. It is this is on the Amazon website, in the US website, Amazon.com, and it's $268. Now look at what you get. Asus Chromebox with Intel Celeron, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of storage. It has a display port, a Type-C display port, dual HDMI. It comes with a gigabit LAN, so that with your network now, you can run a gigabit network. It comes with Wi-Fi 6. It comes with USB 3.2, the latest. It comes with a micro SD card reader, and it comes with, of course, Chrome OS, all with a bunch of display ports, all in the palm of your hand for $268. And there's a lot of different companies make Chrome boxes. So if you don't need an actual laptop, something portable that you're going to need a battery and move around, this little device is great, and it's only $268. So don't forget Chrome boxes, because I think they're a good alternative.
Ron, you also in the description said it has a VESA, and what the VSA is, it's the 4 holes in the back of it match up to the back of most monitors. So you can actually put a couple of 4 screws in the back of your monitor and hang it in the back. And so you don't have to have it on the table, and then all the wires are right there, and you just plug them in, and it's on the back of the screen.
Right. So don't, all as I'm saying is that for $268, I mean, that is a really great, particularly if you have a nice screen. Maybe you've got a 34-inch screen there's nothing wrong with the screen. You've got a keyboard, you've got a mouse, you've got all that. Just plug it into the Chrome box and you're good to go. Dorothy, go ahead.
What about the Chromebooks that have expired? Did you mention what you do with them?
You need a doorstop?
Yeah.
You can still use them. You just can't update them.
Yeah.
They're still usable.
Right.
I've got one like that, and I was thinking maybe I could put the Chrome OS Flex on it. It can't do it because in most cases there's actually some hardware on your motherboard in a Chromebook that blocks you from being able to go in and tamper with the operating system. That's one of the advantages of having a Chromebook, is the fact that it protects you from anyone being able to update the operating system and take over your system. So so you can't really do that. The model I have, if I took it apart, I have to find some kind of a screw that's on it, and then it's sealed, and I have to force it and get it undone and then put it back together again. And of course, they're not made to do that. So I decided against trying to do anything with it. And it's just sitting on my shelf wondering what I will do with it. I don't really need it, but if I wanted to, I could still use it. I just, I don't.
Can you just
Yeah.
add Linux?
I'm sorry?
Sorry?
Can you just add Linux?
Yeah, you could just add Linux on it.
You
You could, if you
Yeah,
want to
you
run.
can turn it into a Linux without any problem because the operating system allows you to do that. And then you could have a Linux computer with no problem.
Right. And the other thing, I don't want people to be hard on Chromebooks because they have an expiry date. I mean, most of the Chromebooks that you're buying are laptops, and laptops have a finite limit on the battery. And you're not going to get much more than 5 years out of a battery. So that's about the limit of machines, except for the Chromebox. The Chromebox is probably going to last you a lifetime. Now, I don't know. I don't know about expiry dates, what the expiry dates are on a Chromebox. Do you know? I just don't know, Hewie. I just
Yeah,
thinking
I don't
about it.
either, but I do know that on most of the new Chromebooks, it's about 7 years now.
Right.
So, you know, having any kind of a technology or a computer more than 7 years, you're stretching it.
Yep. Go ahead, George.
Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. Fine.
So to load Linux on a Chromebook, you turn on dev mode, developer mode.
No,
And then you-
no. Well, I'm not. It's an option on your Chromebook in the settings, and
Yeah.
it's
And
yeah.
that's what I've been told by a guy who loaded Linux on his Chromebook.
Yeah, and I have
Because
Linux.
otherwise it's locked from being loaded, right? So it's a,
Well,
it's,
yeah, I loaded Linux on my Pixelbook, so I have it already loaded on there. And it is an option, and you just click on the option, and it will load it. Now, my advice though is not to do that unless you are going. Don't goof around with it because it does take up a whole bunch of space on your machine. And I would, if you're serious about it, then you can certainly do it. But otherwise, but it is an option, and it is there, and you can easily do it.
yeah, I wouldn't be loading Ubuntu on a low memory machine, but there are some lightweight Linuxes that you could load on it.
Yeah,
You don't have a
That's
choice
just
on the distros. You don't have a choice on the distribution that you load. I think it's now I can't remember which one it is, but you don't have a choice. Is it Debian? Debian. Stu, thanks, Stu. Debian. It loads Debian on there.
Yeah, Stu, you do a lot with Linux on your Chromebook, correct?
Yes, I do, and it works well. You just have to realize, though, you're running Linux on a low-powered machine. You're not. If you try to run graphic program like GIMP, which I like because I can do graphics with it, it runs slow, you know.
Yeah, speaking of graphic programs, I do want to point out, number one, now you can do video on a Chromebook. And the other thing, a lot of people, well, you can't do Photoshop. Well, Photoshop, Adobe's coming out with an online version that you're going to be able to use on your Chromebook. It's not going to be the top of the line Photoshop, but for what most of us do, I use Elements, which is a lower end Photoshop without any problem. I use it all the time on my PC. So probably the online version is going to do most of what you need to do as far as photo editing goes. So that ability is going to be readily available to you soon from Adobe, but there are other programs out there like Canva that you can use now.
Hey, Hewie, the two programs that I found most people couldn't get away from was the photographic software like Photoshop, or they talked about Quicken. You know, they had their finances for the last 15 years on Quicken, and they didn't want to think about switching to a new kind of program. But Quicken is coming out with an online version, and Photoshop is coming out with an online version. That's going to really take that argument away from a lot of folks. Now, it's not cheap. Some of these add-ons, they want $15 or $19 a month for, you know, so it's going to add up over time.
But those programs on a PC, you're paying a top dollar for anyway as well.
Carl, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is related to what Stu just said. and that would be for QuickBooks, and they have two versions. They have the desktop and the online. Can I assume the online would be accessible from Chromebooks?
Yeah, online should be fine.
Yes, yes.
I'm not using it, but my girlfriend uses it, and I'm interested in Chromebooks for her grandson, who is not computer likable. He doesn't like computers, but it would help her in helping him do his business by having a Chromebook.
Carl, let me just show you something. Huey, I just want to just share my screen one more time. This is just being released today, and this is the new. This is made by Lenovo. It's a Chromebook. It's the IdeaPad Flex 5i Chromebook 14-inch. It is powered by a 12th generation Intel Core processor. It has a full HD screen. 300 nits is a very, very bright screen. 2-in-1 design, so it's foldable. It's a touch screen, USI stylus support for $529, and you can order that right now. It was just released today, and that's a heck of a machine for $529.
Yeah, well, hey, thank you very much for that. That's very timely, and this, as I said in my chat, this is my first time I'm on a Chromebook, so I decided to overload my brain with some more activity, so I'm here.
Thanks, Carl. Jim, do you have one last comment before we go, since it's almost top of the hour?
Yeah, I have a very basic question. Is there a way of controlling the speed of keyboard input? I have a tremor problem in my hands, and a lot of times when I hit a key, it repeats so fast that I have to go back and erase most of the letters. I've looked under input and I can't find something like that.
Yeah,
Use the voice app.
you could do that. The other thing, Jim, would be to try different keyboard. I think that the problem is more related to the keyboard, and it may be it may be a different type of keyboard with a mechanical switch rather than electronic switch. So it may be a different type of keyboard that would be more beneficial.
And there may be a speed setting I don't recall.
I don't think there's a setting for that, but a mechanical keyboard where you actually, the ones we all use are electronic touch keyboards, but a mechanical keyboard is the travel is a lot greater and would probably solve that problem.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to go to the voice dictation. It's probably better for me. But
And
can
what-
you add,
Is there anything under
add your own
accessibility?
dictionary?
Don't think so. Not for keyboard input.
Oh,
Well, I mean, I'm looking at my keyboard settings and I just was wondering, that's why.
Don't think so. Bill, go ahead.
Yes, I think Hewie had a program that we could use for people who had MS or something like that. Do you remember that, Hewie?
I'm not sure which one you're referring to. Yeah,
It's about 2 months ago.
yeah, I don't remember.
I'll look it up.
Okay. I did one other thing that I would like to end with today is a couple of times when I've done, one of my neighbors was interested in getting a new computer, and I said, well, you ought to consider a Chromebook, and they wanted to, obviously try one before buying it. What I did is I went in to their house, brought my Chromebook, and I said, okay, let's go ahead and you sign in, and you can add a user. Had them sign in with their Gmail account. I had them sign in, so I didn't have to know what their password was. It actually, within about 10 seconds, bingo, all of their files out on the Google Drive were there, all their pictures were there, everything from their Gmail account and their Google account was on there. And I said, here, use it for a couple of days. They can't get into your account because they don't know your password, and they can use it. Try it for a couple of days. You take it back. Before you take it back, you go in and you delete their account, and everything goes away, and you're done. And you can't get into anything of theirs, so they don't have to worry about that. And it's a nice way for someone to get used to trying a Chromebook before they go out and they buy one. And
Ed,
I don't
did
know
you
if you
have a
do that,
question?
Jolin, if you do that in your center, do you have Chromebooks for people to use? You have one?
Sorry, yes, we have one, so anybody can log in. It logs into our HHICC account, but anybody can log out and log into their own.
Yeah. And no one can get to that information once they've logged
Once
out.
they've logged out, and that's the key. Log out when you're in a public location, log out.
Ed, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Huey did a great job with his comparison, but one of the things I have found is even when you see a comparison like that, they put things on sale that have different factors than what show up on the comparison. Like the one I ended up buying had twice the memory and twice the storage and was on sale for about half price of what is the normal price. And that helped me make a decision because I mean, I like it. I'm glad I bought it, but when you go study all those comparison charts and then you go to the store or you research buying one, makes it even more confusing because it may show up different than what all the comparisons show.
Yeah, you want to do the comparisons, and the first time you go to the store, don't take any money or your credit cards with you. You go in but take your phone and take pictures of the models they have, and then go back and look at it and do some comparison. And Best Buy and Amazon frequently have a lot of these models on sale for a week or two, and then the sale goes away. So you got to keep track of it. But if you're not in a hurry to go out and buy one, and you decide what model you want, sooner or later it's going to go on sale and save you some money.
Yeah, and don't forget.
That's what happened to me. Somebody sent me a recommendation, and it was on sale that 1 week at that price and had all these features from Best Buy. I've never seen it back even close to that now. So you just have to be ready to act when you see what you want.
And don't forget Walmart. Walmart has a big selection of Chromebooks, so you may want to pop around there. And just it's so important because particularly with Chromebooks, some screens are a lot nicer than others, and it's a visual experience. And so we often talk about the screen brightness in nits, N-I-T-S, and you'll find that some of the lower end Chromebooks, the reason they're lower end Chromebooks is the screens just aren't very bright and they're not HD screens. So your experience isn't going to be very good with them. Again, buy them at Costco, buy them at Best Buy, buy them at Walmart, all have great return policies, and go and look at them, pick them up, feel them, look at the screens, so on and so forth. Murray, one last question before we go. Murray, wake up. I think he's gone to sleep.
Hey, can I take his place?
Go ahead, Stu.
I bought recently in August, I wanted a lower end Chromebook just to use for my SIGs around here. And I found a $92 Chromebook at Walmart. You mentioned Walmart. And I found it's an old HP. Its length of time till its end of life is only about 4 years. So half of its time is used up. But you know, I've been surprised. I was able to do that screencast, works perfectly on it. And so it is a good tool. And I'll sell it to somebody or give it away. But you can buy a Chromebook for a lot less than $500 that will work.
Right. And please consider a Chrome box, because a lot of people have their monitors, they have the keyboard, they have the mouse, and for $268, you get a really good Chrome box, right? You know, and for $268. So you already have the monitor, you don't need to spend it again.
Hey, I just want to echo Huey's comment because Best Buy about a month ago were selling the Chromebooks for $99. And I almost bought it, except they were out of stock. And I'm so glad they were out of stock when I look back now.
But the big problem I have with that, Carl, is when you look at those machines, if your visual experience on those is going to be very bad. In other words, they're not going to look that good. Your videos aren't going to run. They're not going to look that good. If it's just for email you want, that's okay. But I think it's much better to get a nice Chromebook, take it home, and see how you feel about it. You know, maybe you'll be watching movies on it, watching Netflix. You'll be doing all sorts of things, and you want a good experience. Because a $99 computer just doesn't have a great screen.
With that,
Irving,
Ron,
go ahead.
Ron, I think we're
About finished. Yeah, Irving, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Irving.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I got mine for $70 US, $100 Canadian, at Shoppers Drug Mart at Christmas, and it's good. The screen looks great. It works fine for video or anything. And that was a one-day sale. Had to line up to get into the store first thing because they only had 3 in stock. But $70 is hard to beat.
That's right. Irving, go ahead.
Yeah, quickly, I just wanted to say that a lot of these models from Best Buy aren't coming from Best Buy. They're coming from other sellers through Best Buy. So I don't know that the guarantees apply the same way as if you buy something direct that comes direct from Best Buy.
That's it.
Right.
You're talking about buying it online, correct?
Right.
Yeah, if you go in the
Yes.
store and it's there, you're buying it from them.
Yeah. But the other thing, Irving is right. And the other thing is you've got to remember that all these like school districts purchase Chromebooks on lease back contracts. And so all these Chromebooks, millions of these Chromebooks are all lease backs, and they go back to the leasing company. And what they do is they refurbish them and put them on Amazon and give you a so-called great deal. But as you know, the expiry date on them often is used up. 4 years is used off them. And that's exactly why you're getting them for such a deal, is they're refurbished leasebacks. And there are lots of those on the Amazon, particularly because because that's how the leasing companies get rid of them. So be careful with that one. That's and the other thing is, you really have to be careful with that, because a lot of times those machines are specifically made for school districts, and they may not have a USB port, or they don't have an HDMI port. You know, there's something odd about those machines. And so you have to be really careful if you're buying a refurbished leaseback on Amazon. I think that's it, Huey. I think we did
Yeah, I
it, eh?
think so. Yeah, we went over a little bit, but
Yeah, I think we're
we
fine.
covered a lot, and we reviewed a lot for people today, and I think it was
Yep.
good.
Excellent. We'll have the show up probably tomorrow, and we'll have it up on our on the website, and so you can listen to it again.
Sounds good.
And
Thank
we
you,
will
everybody.
be back next. We will be back next month on what is the 27th? I think I said in the video. What is November? October the 27th. Yep, the fourth Thursday will be the 27th. So we'll see you all on the 27th.
Yeah, or at Tech for Senior next Monday.
Yep, or see you on Monday. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye now.